Well, howdy there, Internet students. This is Mr. Hermanson. This is for those of you that want to retake Objective 3.1a, which is estimating percent problems. So we talked about a couple things. The first one I want to just remind you of is the 10% and 1% strategy. So 10% is like 1/10. Which means to get 10% you divide by 10, which is just moving the decimal over one place to the left. So notice in this first problem here we want 20%. Well, it'd be really easy to get 10%. 10% we would just move the decimal over one place, and that would be like 2.9. Let's just round that to 3 to make it easy. Now that's 10%. So 20% would just be double that. So about $6 sounds pretty good on that one. All right. So in this next one, really you could do the same thing. 18% is so close to 20% that you could just think of it as 20%. So do it like that. Now, another thing you can do with the 10% strategy is 6% is actually really close to 5%, isn't it? So so first find 10% of this. Let's just round this to 22. So 10% of 22, just move the decimal over one place, is $2.20. So 5% would just be half of that, right? So when you're actually estimating, you're not writing it down like this. You're just kind of thinking about it. So 5% is about $1.10, so 6% should be just a little bit more than that. Now, if you want to adjust that a little bit more, you could do 1% more. 1% is just moving the decimal over two places. So moving it over two places, that would give you about 20 cents more to add on. So 6% would be about, add 20 more cents onto that 110. Is $1.30. Now this one you can just subtract that little extra 1% if you want. All right, so you're going to finish up those problems. I'm going to keep the video going. If you want to pause and work on those, you can, or you can just take all the notes first and then go back and work on the problems. Another way to estimate percent problems is think about what fraction they make, because then you know what to divide it by. Like if it's 10%, you need to divide it by 10. If it's 20%, since that's 1/5, you divide by 5. And then 30% is just 10% 3 times, right? Some other common ones are like 75% and 25%. Those are fourths. So you're going to have to divide things by 4 on those. Some people even know these, like 33 and 1/3% is 1/3. And 66 and 2/3 is 2/3 as a fraction. So you have to divide those by 3. So let me show you how that works. So let's say we want to estimate about the answer to the problem list. The pool loses 74%, and we want to estimate how much that is out of 800. Well, 74% is really 75%, so close to that, which is 3/4. So I want to divide this by 4, which isn't too bad. 800 divided by 4 is 200. That's 1/4. But I need 3/4, so I just multiply that by 3, which is 600. Okay, I'll do one more with you, and then you can finish these up. It says estimate the percent of each number. Like this one, you're going to think of that as 1/4 of 40. Well, that's not too hard. 40 divided by 4 is 10. Now, if you were thinking, but I made this a little smaller, so you maybe might say 11 if you want. Just make it a little bit bigger. Okay? So go ahead and try those. All right, so you're going to have some problems to do that relate to real life, where you're just trying to estimate what percent they're talking about. So the daily special at a restaurant costs $10. About how much more does a daily special cost when the restaurant increases its prices by 17%? All right, you can just figure that out in your head. 10% of 10 is $1, right? Just move the decimal over 1. So that gives you 10%. And then 5%, so I'm just going to split this 10 plus 5 plus 2. And I'll show you how to get the 2 in a second. But so we have 10. So we have my $10. There's 10%. 5% would be half of that, so 50 cents more. And then 2% would be, remember you have to move the decimal over twice, so that's like a penny. So I'm going to add, and since it's 2% more, I'm going to add 2 pennies on to that. So really I can figure out exactly what the new price is. It's 10.11.52. All right, so I'm going to let you do the next one. Let's go on to the back page here. I can show you how you can use fractions to help you with these problems. About how many students are not members of a club. So we want to figure it out. The middle school has 722 totals, and 22% are not members of clubs. So you can choose how you want to do that, but I'm going to go with the 10% method. And if you want, you can just round this to 700 to make it easy. Now 10% of that would be 70, right? So 22% is that twice. And now if you want to add on that extra 2%, 1% would be 7, so 14. So 70 and 70 is 140. I'm going to say it's about 150. We're just guessing, so you can just estimate. It doesn't have to be perfect. But now, how many students are members of at least 2 clubs? So that would be these two together, which is about 36%. You could do 40% if you wanted, or that's actually pretty close to a third if you want to just divide this by 3. So pick some number fairly close to 722 that divides by 3 pretty easily. So I'm thinking actually 720 is not too bad to divide by 3. If you can do that, it'd be 240. So 240 is not a bad estimate. It's probably a little bit more, but we're just guessing, so maybe around 250. All right, so one last thing I want to talk about with you is sometimes you have to be careful about the wording. So it says Peter invited 26 people to his birthday party. 79% of them want ice cream with their cake. How many people want ice cream with their cake? Basically, we have to figure out what is 79% of 26. But notice this question down here says that 452 out of 798 said math class was the best class ever. What percent of students said math class was not the best ever? So I'm going to cover that with the ice cream. So this is about 80%. So let's do the 10% method. 10%, and let's just round this up to 30 just to make that a little easier. Okay, 10% of 30 is 3. So 80% of 30 is 3 times 8, which is 24. Now, we rounded this up to 30, so that number is going to be a little high, so you might want to fudge a little down on that. So I don't know, maybe somewhere around 22-ish on that one. Okay, and now that we know how many wanted ice cream, the rest of them did not want ice cream, right? So we can just subtract those from the total 26, and maybe we'll say about 4 don't want, because these two add up to 26. All right, so finish up that worksheet, and when you're done, you're going to send me a picture of that. I'll check it out, and if it looks good, I'll send the retake to your parents.